September 8th, 2023, about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's a girl, Crystal Storms, delivering another news flash. There is, I guess we're getting the backlash or, from the hurricane that is hitting down at the coast, you know, down south there, by Florida and stuff, I believe. There's a hurricane that's about to come ashore from the Atlantic, and in New York, we really don't get extreme weather like that. We've had a couple of little close calls, but nothing not anywhere near the devastation of what they suffer down there during hurricane and tornado or typhoon season and all of the different parts of the country or different parts of the world, that suffer those, weather phenomena. But I do want to say this, though, for those of you who are quite nosy and always, you have your life is, I guess you consider what you got going on and your life and the talents you're not using so unimportant that, I know I'm important. I've always known that. Nobody could tell me I wasn't. I've always been low-key brilliant. And I've never taken other people's opinions that seriously because I don't listen to what they say. I look at what people do. And I look and see what are the differences between the two, and I treat them accordingly. If they're full of shit, I treat them like that. And if they're legit, honest and genuine people, I treat them like that. It doesn't matter to me whether they're gay, straight, lesbian, transgender. It doesn't matter to me whether they're black, white, Spanish, European, African, Asian, Arab, Latino, or from the islands, whatever. So what y'all should know is that, I don't mind, and I'm quite happy to leave all of this behind because this may be your final destination and the best that y'all could do, but this is only just, I'm just passing through here. I've always been able to create bigger and better things out of whatever my circumstances was, because I'm the smart chick, and I like that. I play that role. I play my role. You know what I'm saying? I play the background. My sister was the spotlight chick, beautiful and talented and funny, and everybody loved her. She had so many friends. Some people still miss her. On her birthday, they be putting up on her Facebook page because her Facebook page is still up because, of course, my sister's dead. She can't take down her page. And people still put up how much they miss her and everything. My sister was beloved in the community. And so what I want to say to y'all is that because y'all don't read, you don't study behavior patterns, you don't study history, and possess critical thinking skills and highly efficient and focused on, things like learning something new every day and studying. And I love to study. That's why I don't talk much. Because, see, people don't get happy when I talk much because I'm too real. Even my family don't like that. I'm like brutally honest or whatever, raw, straight up with no chaser. That's how I deliver it to people. So that's why I rarely say anything to them. I try to keep it simple. Hello, hi, bye, good morning, whatever. But so, what y'all should know is that a behavior pattern that I've noticed already unfolding, which I've seen happen before, with generation after generation of these ungrateful, demanding, entitled illegals who come here, is that they want Americans to give endlessly. You have the right and responsibility. And, every human, there's no human is illegal. And they come up with anything to circumvent the law or to work the loopholes in the law to their benefit and advantage for laws that were put in place for American citizens and legal immigrants only. They weren't here even when those laws were put in place. Other than that right to shelter shit, which, that was put in by the liberals, bleeding hearts, but they didn't say right to shelter in my house and I'll pay for them. They just said right to shelter and the American citizens and taxpayers will pay for them endlessly to make their bleeding hearts, make themselves feel better. But they don't do what needs to be done to really make things better, which would be to provide reparations to black people. And I'm definitely going to make sure that happens. Because if we got all that damn money for illegals in Ukraine who we have no legal responsibility to, and absolutely have a legal responsibility for reparations, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit that they were saying for 30, 40 years when I was a teenager. We don't have enough money. You got enough money for Ukraine illegals, right? Or the shit about, oh, that'll bankrupt the country. This doesn't seem to be bankrupting the country, and nobody seems to be talking about, oh, we don't have a responsibility to those folks. In fact, you're saying the opposite. We have a responsibility to people we are not legally bound to. Other than, a moral obligation, sure, but so no moral obligation for the descendants of slaves when they have things like if a pregnant woman ran away and got caught, they would catch her, beat her, cut her stomach open, snatch the baby out of her stomach and smash the baby's head. Or like down in Florida where they were rumored to have took black babies and used them as bait for alligators, and they had a whole thriving trade and things that were just absolutely shameless about supporting white supremacy and slavery, and all across the country. I did the research. I think y'all better catch up, because there are people who were in positions of power back when they were breeding slaves after slavery ended. See, every generation after slavery ended put something in place or participated in something or looked the other way on systems of oppression that oppressed my people generation after generation. So yes, absolutely there's an obligation, and it will be bound, and we will be going to court. Just like illegals are going to court demanding Americans and black people, the descendants of slaves, do tell. We are obligated to pay for you endlessly, and you'll sue us and force us to when we haven't even received reparations, and our country is reeling from COVID, and we've lost much tax dollars and are losing many more as they put the illegals in places that used to bring in tax dollars. And so you're bounding us black people into another system of oppression designed to benefit illegals and the white elite power structure and those rich black house slaves and the oppressor overseer law enforcement, like they did when they flooded our communities with drugs. Oh yeah, we're suing. Y'all are working together with anybody across the globe to oppress black people and keep us at the bottom so we know our place, servants and slaves or worker bees. Or we get killed, our communities terrorized, or just underfunded, and basically definitely sabotaging our communities generation after generation in one way or another. Whether it's by banking practices, housing practices, home owner associations that were put in place to keep blacks out, and all kinds of things. Ku Klux Klan, all kinds of things. So yeah, and I want to say another thing to the illegals. See, I saw two things today that showed me both sides of the legal issue and why you need to stop coming. There was a woman who I looked at, I could tell she was illegal. She was dressed kind of shabby but proud with her child, little girl. And when she walked by, tears sprang up in the back of my eyes, and I had to hold them back. And my heart, I felt like a hole in my heart that I try not to get emotional over shit, over people, because it always end up bad for me, interpersonal relationships, generally, statistically speaking, in terms of the ratio of what worked out and what didn't, hasn't been working out well for me. Business works out well for me, as you can see. But in any case, my heart broke for the little girl, because when the little girl walked by, you could see her legs. She was a little bit, like maybe she had a little scar here or there on her leg. Maybe she had scratched her leg here or there. I'm not saying mom abused her or nothing. And she had on a pair of cheap little low-cut cowboy boots with no socks. And I knew that was the best mom could do. And it broke my heart, man, because I could see right there are people who legitimately need help. That lady, she looked proud. She looked like I don't know her, but she looked like she was doing her best, and she was trying to do her best for her baby. And I wished I had a pair of socks to give her baby. It broke my heart seeing that. The little girl walking by with the doggone cheap little ankle, right above the ankle boots that weren't even in season. Those were more like for, like when it's about to be like, real serious fall weather. But that was probably all she had. She did the best she could, and I'm not downing her. I applaud her. My heart went out to her. I wish I had a pair of socks of $5 at that moment to hand it to her and say, here, get the baby some socks. I could see the real legitimate need. And pride, too. She was doing the best she could. She didn't get in my way and block up the sidewalk. She didn't act entitled. I still